boys and girls. Today we are going to do a 1-point perspective assignment, okay? So some of my 5th graders, you're going to remember our 1-point perspective from when we did our name project, okay? But today's a little bit different. We're going to be drawing a room, okay? So you will need a ruler. If you don't have a ruler at home, right, you can use anything that has a flat edge, okay? So even like the edge of a book. Now don't draw on your books, okay? But if you be careful, you can use that as a flat edge. All right, so what we're gonna do is I want you to turn your paper so that it is in landscape orientation, right? So that means that the long way of your paper is going side to side. Now you're not starting by drawing a rectangle, right? This is just my pretend paper here. This will be my paper, okay? So we're doing 1-point perspective. So that means we need to start with 1 point. You got it. So let me see, I wanna get a good marker for you guys for this project. So you're gonna start just by making 1 dot, 1 point in the middle of your paper, okay? Now, in perspective, what it means is that everything is going to connect back to that point. So the very first thing we're gonna do is we're going to use our ruler or your straight edge, right? Your book, whatever you have that's flat and straight. And we're going to connect our point to the corners of our page. Now when you do this, please draw lightly because you will need to erase some of these lines as we go, okay? So draw light until you get it right. All right, so we're gonna take that line and we're going to connect it to the outside corner of all 4 of our corners, all right? So give me just a second to do this. And you can go ahead and do this as well. All right. So if you do it correctly, right, you should come up with some kind of X shape across your paper. An X shape across your paper. All right. So next what we're going to do is we're going to take our ruler and we're going to draw a straight line across. What we're doing is we're creating the back wall of our design. You'll see what I mean later, okay? But you're gonna create a straight line across, leaving a little bit of a margin, a little bit of space up here. And we're gonna connect from the edge of that line. We're gonna go straight down. We're gonna go straight across from that line. Oop. See, I always tell you, even Miss Summers makes mistakes sometimes, right? There we go. All right, and then we're going to connect these 2 lines over here. Very good. So once you've done that, okay, remember we were drawing lightly. So what you're going to do is you're going to take an eraser and you're going to erase the lines that are inside of this rectangle you drew. But you want to keep your point. You want to still know where your point is. So my point is right here. Very good. So we can add some details to our room, right? This is like the back wall of a room. This would be the ceiling. This is the floor here. And these would be the 2 sides of our room. So let's go ahead and add a hardwood floor, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're going to create some stripes on the floor. But each of those stripes needs to line up and connect back to our point. Does anyone remember from 5th grade, from when we did our name project, what the name of this point is? Anyone at all? It's a vanishing point, right? It's the point at which all of my lines go back to and kind of vanish into. I'm going to switch sides on my board here, but you can see what I've done so far. I'm just creating some striped design on the floor, but each of my stripes lines back up with my vanishing point. In perspective, that's what we're adding to our drawing. We're adding 1 point perspective. Perspective is one of the ways that artists can make drawings look really a lot more realistic, okay? All right, so I know that this might take you an extra minute or two, right? The summers is kind of fast, but we've added some details here to our floor, and it looks almost like we have a kind of striped flooring or maybe even some hardwood flooring here, right? Okay, so now that we've done that, why don't we go ahead and add a window, right? Let's go right off to the side of our vanishing point here, and I'm still going to use my ruler because rulers, or straight edges, whatever you have, are going to give us nice straight lines. And I'm going to decide where I'd like my window, and I'm going to give kind of 2 lines that go straight up and down. Again, I'm keeping all of my lines very light because I might have to erase some of them, okay? Now my lines that go straight up and down, my vertical lines, are fine. They can just go up and down. They don't have to connect back to the point. But my horizontal lines should. Let's see, let's go for it. No, that's totally incorrect. Let's see, let's add a window here. That's where the correct perspective is. My apologies, my friends. So, we're going to draw our 2 lines up and down, kind of off to the side here. And then these lines we're going to connect back to our vanishing point, right? I'm not connecting the line back all the way, but I'm taking this outside line, lining it up with my vanishing point, and I'm connecting it. So it's not a perfect rectangle, right? But it is still in perspective. It's in good perspective, okay? All right, so this is kind of the basics for our perspective lesson here. But now what you have is you have a room in 1 point perspective, okay? So I want you to go ahead and add some details to your room, right? Is this a window? What do you see outside the window? Is it a poster? Maybe it's a poster for your favorite band. I don't know, right? What do you have on this back wall? Do you have a bed in your room anywhere? What kind of room is it? What is the room used for, right? Maybe it's a completely fantasy make-believe room, and you want to draw a chandelier coming down from the ceiling and a slide that puts you into a big ball pit. I don't know, right? This is your imagination, this is your creativity, and it's your 1 point perspective room. So, I'm going to go ahead and finish my drawing, but I cannot wait to see how you let your creativity take over your imaginary 1 point perspective room.